Welcome in, Browns fans, to this edition of the Browns Report. It's mailbag time. We're going to answer everything that Cleveland Browns fans are wondering. I'm your host, Joey O'Donohue, a diehard Browns fan myself. You're not going to want to miss this episode because we're going to cover all of it. And you don't want to miss anything going forward. You want the latest updates on Shedeur Sanders news, Cleveland Browns news. Subscribe now. We're over 62,000 now. I mean, wow, this family has grown so much since I took over. Started when it had been built up to 47,000. Now here we are, folks. So join the party. It's a lot of fun. Appreciate you all. And don't miss a thing because I got you covered. Let's get into our first question here. And it is a Shedeur Sanders fan, 67. Do you think Deion Sanders could become the Browns coach next year? All right, what a great question. You know, if Kevin Stefanski is on the hot seat, and there are rumors that his time in Cleveland could be done. The offenses have been pretty poor under Stefanski. So if he gets fired, I think it's possible if Shedeur is our starter. I mean, if you're going to next year and the back half of this season, Shedeur shows you enough that you don't draft another quarterback, then he's the day one starter. And now I think it's possible that either this year or the year after that, if Shedeur is a longer-term starter, that one, Deion Sanders would interview for the job and put his name in contention and try to coach with his son. And I'm going to show you guys something from draft night. This is my buddy over at ESPN who sent me a text on draft day while all this was going on. He said, just found out some news on Sanders. It's Deion Sanders' fault. He's trying to pull off an Archie Manning and dictate where Shedeur lands. Deion has made it clear that he plans to coach Shedeur in the NFL. Which coach or GM is going to draft him knowing their fate is sealed? So these were rumors going around. I'm not saying there's truth to those rumors, but they started swirling that Shedeur, part of the reason he slid was because Deion wanted to go with him. And everybody thought that drafting Shedeur and him being a franchise quarterback means you lose your job because his father's going to come in and coach with him. So I don't know if that's true. There was just rumors going on at the time that my friend had texted me who works at ESPN. But if Shedeur is the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns and they think they can roll with him, well, I think they can get him a coach that likes him, a coach that wanted to make him the starter, which that wasn't Stefanski. And Deion Sanders probably would be a coach that, well, loves him more than any other coach possible. What do you think, Browns fans? Should the Browns consider hiring Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, man, one of the greatest players in NFL history? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. If you would consider Deion Sanders as the head coach of Cleveland, I'll tell you what, it'd be box office. Are you in? Let me know in the comment section. Here's a question from Jacob R.S., another head coach question, actually. How about Jon Gruden for head coach? Here's a name that Browns fans are getting excited about as well. Gruden, what I like about him is that he's just so passionate about football. I mean, he knows X's and O's better than most other coaches I've seen talk about them online at least. And he grew up loving Cleveland. He grew up a fan of the Browns. And I think he's someone that, well, would also put a lot of spotlight on Cleveland. And just his drive and passion for the sport excites me about it. Now, I don't know if it's a viable option, right? If this is something that the NFL would even allow after how Gruden's time ended in Las Vegas. And, you know, there were some questionable decisions he made when he was a head coach of the Raiders as well, or on their coaching staff. So I don't know how feasible this is, but he's a candidate I would give an interview if it's possible, because I'll tell you what, he will have drive and passion next year to get right back into this league. Let's move on to AFX. Not going to lie, I feel like a win against San Fran could change the culture in Cleveland. Also, Reed, shout out our producer on the ones and twos, Reed Bartkus. Let's go into our preview here. I really think AFX is a good point here. I mean, imagine the headlines if Shedeur Sanders wins this next start and he's undefeated as a starter. And you beat a team that you're not supposed to beat. A team that has 8 wins this year, and you have 8 losses. And so what I've seen so far from Shedeur, in that one start, I literally saw more deep shots than I saw in all of Gabriel's starts. More energy, more excitement. The players rally around him. It's a home game. The fans are going to be screaming, cheering. He loves those environments. He thrives in it. Walking off the field against the Raiders, he did his celebration because all the fans were cheering. Like, he loves the spotlight. I think it's gonna juice up the players. And man, the headlines of Cleveland are gonna be exciting if they go 2-0 with Shedeur and beat a team that is a playoff team. Could change the culture, folks. Break the curse. It's happening. He's already the first quarterback to win his first start for the Cleveland Browns since '99, since '95 technically, but it's coming. AFX. I'm excited. Move on over to Corey Dotz. If Shedeur is average, do you draft a quarterback? And if so, who? Well, I think the key word here is average, Corey. It's a good question. What do you mean by average? Because if he plays, like he did against the Raiders, maybe you call that average. I think that's enough to show that he could be a good quarterback if you built around him, right? If he's at least average on this Browns team with a bad offensive line, with a wide receiver that fumbles the ball after a big completion and drops balls all year long, and Kevin Stefanski, a head coach that has a lot of question marks about his ability to develop young quarterbacks and lead them to success, then if he can show promise with this situation, why not give him another year and load up on your biggest needs? Because if you keep everything the same and bring another rookie quarterback into this mess, and you still have Gabriel and Shedeur on the roster, well, now what are you doing with 3 young quarterbacks in a messy situation that's hard for quarterbacks to develop in? So that's where I think we're at with this, Corey. If Shedeur shows you some promise, I'd build around him and fix your biggest needs so that there's no excuse for the next young quarterback that comes in here. That's my take on the matter. Before we get on with the rest of the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Cash App. I get plenty of phone calls from people pretending to be someone they're not. Scammers are getting creative, which is why it's comforting to have Cash App, a safe and secure way to send money. The holidays are all about finding the perfect gift, but this time of year, not every deal is actually what it seems. Scammers are getting more creative to trick people into sharing their payment info through methods like fake shopping sites and giveaways that are too good to be true. Luckily, Cash App's 24/7 fraud monitoring helps detect and alert you for unusual card activity should someone gain access to your card, so you can act fast if something seems off. You can also lock or unlock your Cash App card instantly right in the app for extra control and peace of mind. Stay one step ahead of scams this season and keep your money secure with Cash App. For limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real. Just download Cash App, use our exclusive referral code SECURE10 in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Next one coming in from Plight of the Zombie. $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. We get to see Sanders progress either way. Either way, that's what I like about this. That's why I think me and a lot of other analysts now are jumping on my bandwagon, which is that Shedeur should be getting the back half of this season. We can at least see what he's made of in a sample size of at least 5 games. And what I like about Shedeur is he's already improved from being thrown into the Ravens game to the Raiders game. You see a big difference, not only in just obviously more completions, but he only took 1 sack against the Raiders. He was evading pressure. He didn't hold on to the ball like people say he does too much. And so I think we need to start developing this kid. He's our best prospect on the roster. I've been saying that for almost a year now. I think that is a positive that we'll get to see him for the back half of the season, hopefully, but it might be a week-to-week thing, according to Stefanski. Let's go on over to Felix. Do you think we're better off sticking with Watson to train Sanders, or should we get a veteran during the offseason? Go Browns! Give me a Go Browns in the comments section. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I gave credit to Deshaun Watson last Sunday because multiple times during that game, he was shown looking over things on the iPad with Shedeur. He was really invested in prepping Sanders. And Watson, he is 30 years old now. He's a veteran in this league who's had success, not with us, but he's had success in this league. So, one of my commenters put it great. He knows what to do, just not how to do it. So I actually loved seeing that, and I think it did help Shedeur in a way to have someone that invested in him and going over things with him as someone who's been in the league doing that. Also, the contract part of this, well, the Cleveland Browns are going to likely have Watson on the roster next year, is what Mary Kay told us. And it's going to be a massive cap hit of over $80 million, which just sucks. But if you can get use out of him in this way, that seems beneficial to me. Now, if he'll be in contention to start again, that's for a future video once he is activated and they open his practice window. But to your question, I think that is a positive thing if Watson is going to be on this roster to have him help train Sanders. Not necessarily, you don't need to bring another veteran in this mix unless you move on from Dillon and need another quarterback on the roster. J.J. Madd is firing the coach is as credible as a rumor that we were going to get rid of Njoku. I think the thing with rumors is, at least the ones that we talk about here, is it's reasonable to assume that it could be the case. So David Njoku, Adam Schefter had listed as a trade candidate. A lot of the big names had, because he's on a contract year. He was expensive, he's talented, and he's getting older and started to get hurt. And so the Cleveland Browns, who looked like they were not in contention to make the playoffs, would trade the talented tight end to a team that is trying to make a push and needs a tight end. Njoku, though, he loves the city of Cleveland. He doesn't want to leave. He was so happy he didn't get traded, and so that's something behind the scenes that Cleveland and Njoku worked on, and it seems like they want to give him an extension this offseason. We'll find out when that hits. The Stefanski rumors are also very reasonable to assume. His offenses the past 2 years have been awful. We were dead last in points per game last season. We're 29th this season. And it's just been conservative, hard to move the ball with him. Like, it's reasonable to assume, because of the poor records the past 2 seasons and the poor offenses, that Stefanski would be on the hot seat. If everything fails, you go to the head coach and say it's your fault. So that's where we're at. Bobby Johnson, if the Browns win enough games with Shedeur, will it be enough to save Stefanski's job, assuming he really is on the hot seat? Another good question from Bobby Johnson. And honestly, Bobby, if Stefanski is on the hot seat, to the latter half of your question, I don't think there's much he can do to save his job. Now, if we make the playoffs somehow this year, different story. Normally when you're winning football games, you don't change much. But the difference in Shedeur succeeding is that was not Stefanski's guy. That wasn't his pick. Dillon Gabriel was his guy. Dillon Gabriel was the one he named the starter. He gave the reps as a backup to. And Shedeur started his first game because Gabriel was in concussion protocol. That wasn't even a benching until now, until Shedeur won the game and everyone, all the fans hyped him up. And I bet the ownership said, you got to start him because you're going to get run out of Cleveland if you go back to Gabriel. So I don't think there's a lot he can do if he's the problem, to be honest with you, Bobby, because Shedeur wasn't his guy. Let's go on over to Robert Colbert, who is better known as Kathy in the chat. When will we address the offensive line? We can't even do a simple screenplay. Hashtag Browns. It's a big miss on the Browns front office and Andrew Berry for not drafting a single offensive lineman in last year's draft. Now, I still think they nailed the draft in a lot of different areas. I mean, the rookie class we brought in is phenomenal. Schlesinger, a name that you shouldn't have passed on. Glad we got him in Cleveland for years to come. He's a legitimate defensive rookie of the year candidate. Quinshon Judkins, super hyped up about as well. He's got real upside in this league to be one of the top running backs going forward. And I love just the way he runs. Like, you made the right rookie picks, but you didn't even bring in a single offensive lineman, and you drafted 2 rookie quarterbacks later. So this offseason, Robert Colbert, there will be no excuse. I expect Cleveland to draft not 1, but 2 tackles in this draft, multiple offensive linemen, best available, because that's their biggest issue right now, I really need them to bring in a wide receiver as well. I mean, seriously. If your best wide receiver drops the ball consistently, what does that tell you? Get another target. Hopefully one out of The Ohio State University. Let's go to our next question here. Wolf76. When a new coach comes in, I am sure they will want their own group and see most of these current ones being released. Well, this is one thing that does worry some Browns fans is if we fire Kevin Stefanski, can we still retain Jim Schwartz? Is he going to start to get other opportunities across the National Football League? Because he's a coach that, of everyone on our roster, we got to keep. I mean, what he's done with the defense since getting here in 2023 is remarkable, especially that year, especially this year. So that would be a shame. Also, Tommy Rees might get some college head coaching opportunities. You know, he was at Notre Dame before, and so I don't think that's necessarily tied to Stefanski, but a new coach that comes in could want to bring their guys in with them. I just hope Cleveland finds a way to keep Jim Schwartz. And if the only way to do that is make Schwartz the head coach, then that might be the direction we are headed in. But then I would want to go out and get a real offensive playmaker, play caller to help this offense have more yards than we've had for 2 years. Bobby Johnson, will Judkins soon be a top 5 running back in the NFL? You know what, Bobby? He has that upside. I mean, if the Cleveland Browns had an offensive line, I think it would look like the Nick Chubb days. When Chubb was running hard, we had one of the best offensive lines in football. There's no doubt about that. And Judkins has that sort of tendency of great yards per carry. He's explosive. He's powerful, strong, violent, hard to tackle. And Judkins, great vision. Like, it's everything you want in a running back. Teams are literally stacking the box against him more than any other player in the National Football League. So, man, if we got him in a good situation, I think the young stud, number 10, Ohio State Buckeye, would be an absolute beast. Seriously, it's 45.22% of the time that he sees more than 8 or more defenders in the box. No one else is seeing it that much. If we could have an offense that opens things up for him, he absolutely has top 5 running back upside. That would be fun to watch in Cleveland. You know what else is going to be fun, Tone? Is this Sunday, boys. Give me that Joey O. Let's get hyped up. I say we beat the Niners. I'm in on it. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. At home, Shedeur's second start. Give me Cleveland. It's going to be fun. We're going to be live for it. You're not going to want to miss it, folks. Hit that subscribe button. Turn your notifications on so when we go live, you'll know. It's going to be a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. And who you got winning? Type CLE if you got the Cleveland Browns. Type SF if you got the Niners. I'm typing CLE. I'm not kidding with you. I got the Browns winning this football game, folks. I got confidence. I got faith. There's hope in Cleveland, hopefully. Going over to X, follow me at Joey070. If you want to ask some more questions, I'll answer those right there for you. Also, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video and so you can be a part of future videos like this. We do these on our live shows and with some comments in the YouTube comments. So go on over there, hit that sub button. We appreciate all of you being a part of these, and we will see you next time.